Shalom, I am Rabbi Dr. Reb Mimi Feigelson, and I am out with Rachel.
Come out and shine.
Hi, I'm Rachel Kann. Welcome to Out with Rachel, and I'm out here at American Jewish University with Rabbi Dr. Reb Mimi Feigelson. She's the Mashpia Ruhanit of the Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies here at American Jewish University, and she's also a rabbinic lecturer here, and a very powerful and important hero of mine, and one of the first female rabbis in the world. So thank you so much for speaking with
My
me.
joy, my joy, my honor.
And wow. And so for people who don't know, the Mashpia Ruhanit is basically spirit guide of the students.
The spiritual mentor, the word comes from shefa, from abundance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only about who I am, but it's also the way I want my students to see themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to stand and to witness and to enable them to draw from within themselves who they are.
Shefa.
Shefa.
So you like you were saying, sometimes you call yourself the Mother Superior.
Sometimes I think it's the easiest way to explain how I walk in the world, and also that support, that maternal support. I often like to say that I grew up with habit envy. Because growing up as a child, the women that I saw living a life of devotion were the nuns. I didn't have a paradigm. I had a paradigm of women teachers, educators. But I didn't have a paradigm of women devoted to God in our tradition. So that's why I often say jokingly that I grew up with habit envy. And
So the Mother Superior thing, it's not too far off, really, when you think about it.
no. What can I say? The Sound of Music came out when I was a child, and it had a lot of impact on me.
It's a great one.
It
I
was
also
everything.
am a fan.
It
Yeah.
was devotion, it was service, it was relation with God, it was the children, it was the captain, it was all the worlds come together. I always grew up learning. I always knew that for me, my bridge to God was through the study.
Okay.
My mother, God bless her, she once said to me, how do you know what reality is? Like, how do you know what your real life is? Because my dream life is so rich. I said to her, Em, this is how I go about it. Where the novel, every chapter begins where the previous chapter ended, that's what people call reality. And in the novel, where the beginning and end of chapters doesn't exactly always meet and coincide, that's called dream. So my sense of reality is in place.
Yeah.
That's how I function in the world.
Right. It's not. You're not in danger of spinning off into
the same way
you know to
that
get up and go to work and.
And the same way that I grew up bilingual. I never understood, for example, how someone who only speaks one language knows what they're saying. As a child, I would watch television and I would see whatever I was watching, Little House on the Prairie. And I would say to myself, how do they know to speak in English? How do they know what they're saying when they're speaking in English? Because if you can't translate the word table to shulchan, then how do you know a table is a table? The only way I know that a table is a table is because I know a table is a shulchan, and the only way I know a shulchan is a shulchan because I know a shulchan is a table. So if you only have one layer of language, how do you know what you're saying?
It's so beautiful.
And that for me is true about the realm of language. It's also true about the realm of experience and the realm of soul and the realm of spirit.
Yeah.
And I'm continuously translating from the realm of the spirit to the realm of the physical.
Yes.
And that is why the image of saying that I was a soul embodied as a woman for many years didn't function as a limitation because I didn't allow it to define me.
Yeah.
The secret that I actually have is there's one topic I actually can't talk about.
Okay, this is the coming out. So this it's a thing we can't talk about. I like it.
So the thing I can't talk about is, I can't talk about women in Judaism.
Okay.
Because it really does not interest me. And it is almost insulting to ask me to speak about women in Judaism.
It's tokenizing you in one sense.
Because it defines me, and it doesn't define me.
It's saying, get in this box, speak to me from this box.
It's, you know, the challenges that become blessings?
Yeah.
The challenge that became a blessing is my gay students, there's a way that as a straight Rav, I can understand them in ways that other straight people can't.
Yes.
Because I know what it's like to talk about myself in the third person. I know what it's like to ignore a comment. Oh, if only you were a rabbi. Right? That's like saying to a gay man, I have a woman for you. It's like saying to a lesbian woman, I have a guy for you. And the kind of conversation moves on. Oh, if only you were a rabbi.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that there's a language that I understand.
Yeah.
That otherwise I
Again,
wouldn't.
You have a bilinguality again. Just like you
Yes.
were born embedded in this world to know that something is real when you could see it through the language of two different mirrors. So this gift of this experience it's like very moving to me. It's given you this language. It's another codification, just like all languages are, so that these other people coming up and now pushing the edges in this way can have someone who understands. What a gift.
And I am continuously negotiating.
Yeah.
We can go so far if we know where we come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can go so far if we have a home to come home to.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to actually see someone who thinks that they're lost, to hold a vision of their home for them, that they know how to find their way home?
Yeah.
And when someone looks at us and thinks that we're lost, to be able to articulate how we're on a journey and we know where our home is, we know where we're coming from, and we know where we're going, and we're not lost, we're on a journey. And then invite them to share the journey.
Yeah.
And I sometimes would ask, why? Why am I the only one of all my friends that has to travel in the world and has to speak multiple languages and has to always be uncomfortable and has to always not know? And her path has to be so continuously unclear. I learned from the Native American traditions. It's an amazing teaching. They say, I don't know who they say is, right? There is a tradition within the Native American traditions that when you're on a journey, to make sure to pause and look back. Because when you come back, the journey doesn't look the same. You think that as you're progressing, you know what the road looks like, and you won't have a hard time finding your way back. And they teach that actually when you make your way back, the road looks different. We have a glimpse of it always, coming home always seems much shorter. In the car, and when you're walking, it always seems much shorter. And they teach us, I've learned from them, that on the journey, to pause, to turn around, to see what the road looks like when coming back. Because that also reminds me that as far as I'm going, I don't want to lose vision of the home I come from and how to make my way home. And I'm always in dialogue with my home. This home, that home, this home, this home.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing the journey.
Thank you so much for sharing the journey. It's a lot less lonely knowing you're on this journey with me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wisdom Daily. Thank you, Coop.